1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay guys, so welcome to this lesson. My name's Dan from Your Guitar Academy, and today we're working with the Guitar Magazine to bring you this lesson all about the intro to Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Now, the first thing to say is that we're actually playing this upper key. So essentially, when Stevie Ray plays it, he detunes every single string by one flat semitone. So we go down to E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. But for our purposes, we're just going to work in standard tuning here, so this is all just in E. If you want to be able to try and play this with the track, just make sure you detune the guitar first and then play it as I'm going to show you. Now, the first thing to mention with this track is that it's all in the key of E, or E flat, you know, like I said for us today, E. And we're very much just doing a 12-bar blues in E. It's just got a Texas shuffle feel, okay? So I'm just going to take you through it bit by bit, and we're just going to start with the intro, which is this bit. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're basically coming up here into our pentatonic shape 2 in E minor, and I'm just going to simply grab the 3rd fret of the B string and slide it up to the 5th, leaving the open E string. And everything we're doing with a very swing feel, okay? So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3, okay? So with the plectrum, it's just a simple slide up on the downstroke. Then I'm just doing down, up, down with the plectrum, as if I was actually strumming this, you know. I actually want that feeling in my individual notes as well. So I go like this. Okay? And in terms of counting it, 1 and 2 and 3. You basically do 3 downstrokes, 3 upstrokes on that. Okay? Then we move over to pentatonic shape 4 in E minor, and I just grab the 7th fret and the 8th fret. So 7th fret E string, 8th fret B string. And I'm going to do the same idea here, so just down upstrokes, but this time for the whole bar, where you can count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only little subtle thing that you might want to be aware of there is I'm slightly bending that 8th fret. Just a little kind of bluesy curl, not actually a semitone, not even a tone, just a slight nudge, just to get an extra kind of dissonant sound, a bluesy sound out of it. Okay? And notice again with my right hand, it's got that swing feel. Then I come back to the same bit as we started, so from the 3 to the 5 with the open E string, but again I do it for a whole bar now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at the start of the next bar I'm going to hit it one more time before coming back to the open E minor pentatonic shape 1, and then grabbing the 2nd fret on the G string and bending up a full tone, and then another full tone, down, pull off, and then we're going to come back to the 2nd fret of the D string, okay? So nice and slowly all together, that bit is this. Bear in mind on that first part there, because it's only 3 beats of the bar, I'm actually going to come in on the 2nd beat, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then to finish off, we're just going to go to the open D string, which will lead us into the rest of the track. Okay, so I'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go into the track. So there's the first part. Now we're going to move into the bulk of this rhythm, which is this shuffle part. So we're going to get to there, okay? Now all this really is at the at the base level of this is just an E major chord, and then when it changes to the 4 chord, it just goes to the A. So that's all we're fundamentally doing. We're just adding this really cool kind of Texas riff to it. So before we get all the chunky bits out of that, we're just going to do the main riff. So it's open E string, then we're going to go 3rd fret straight to the 4th fret. Okay, I'll talk about this theoretically in a minute. Then we're going to go 2nd fret of the A string to 4th fret, to 2nd fret of the D string, and then back down to the 3rd fret of the E, onto the 4, and finishing there on the 2nd fret of the A string. Okay. Now again, rhythmically with the plectrum, before we get to the big chunky strumming, okay, we just want to talk about just getting getting the riff right on just the single strings with just a nice down and up swung motion like this. I'll do it really slow. And again. So notice, basically I'm doing 2 plectrum strokes per note, and I'm keeping a nice swung 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? So that's really the first thing you want to get together, just the simple notes in the right place before you start to concern yourself with this whole kind of sound. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now when it does, you repeat that riff, okay, it's just that to join the riffs together, we get this sound. Okay? Which is literally just open strings, and then we're just going to bar the 2nd fret, okay? And you can bar from the E string, B string, G string, and even D string if you want, and then off again. So you get off, on, off. Okay? Really cool sound. When you add it to the little riff, we get this. Okay, I'll do it again, slow it down. Think of that as your little join between the riffs. So if you're going from the E to the E, so i.e. just doing the same riff over and again, you just do that little join. When you then move to the A riff, which like every good blues, we just take the same shape, but we just move it up into A. So our same pattern is, 0, 3, 4, but we're now starting on the A string instead. So I'll do it really slowly. I'm sure you'll pick this up. See, it's exactly the same pattern, but every single note's moved down a string. And we use the same joining, okay, to put it together. So what I'm going to do, without the chunky strumming that you hear, that kind of defines this record, but it's something that's very, very hard to get together. We're just going to do it as individual notes. This is where you should start when you're trying to play this riff. So that part, before it goes to the lead, is this. Back to E again. And then to A. Back to E. Okay? And then on that one, we're going to end there. We're not going to do the joining note because we're about to go into some lead. Okay? So that's really how you play that part, and really, really and truly try and play it like that first. Don't obsess over the kind of the train sound that Stevie Ray Vaughan gets. That's something which is going to kind of pick up naturally. The most important thing is that with your plectrum, even though you're doing single notes, you're still doing the down-up strokes you would do as if you were strumming this. So if you just look at my plectrum as I go through this first riff, I'm not going like this. Downstroke, central, I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's what's going to make it easy then if you gradually see how you expand that movement. And you see I'm just gradually expanding it over the strings, but fundamentally it all began with just that nice bouncy right hand. It's the same when you do the lead, it's the same when you do the rhythm and the chords, okay? So, in terms of building it up to do the chunky strumming, we're going to have another lesson that's going to really help you out with that, just so we can really, nail the technique without getting too bogged down on it now. So, tune in for that lesson, which will be coming soon. For now, let's just go through to the next part of the track, okay, which is this. Okay, so this is the lead part, and essentially this all takes place over the 5 chord of the B, 2, 3, the 4 chord of the A, 2, and then your kind of turnaround. You might be familiar with a, but in Texas blues we don't get that kind of sound. That's more like a Chicago blues. We get more like. So we've got a really cool Texas turnaround here. Now, let me just take you through it. Again, remember that we're in pentatonic shape 1, in E minor, and shape 2. So we're using notes from those 2 shapes to create this sound, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slide from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on the G string, and then grab the 3rd fret on the B, and repeat that 3 times. Then we're going to come back down, quick grace note slide. So I play the 4 and go down to the 2, but I very quickly go down to the 2. I barely hear this note at all. Like that. Not like this. Like this. So we get. Then I'm going to pull off. Okay, so I've just pulled off to there. Down to the 2. Then open string, 2, 2. So let's just get that bit together. Okay? Don't worry, I'll go through it all again just so you can get it right. But that's the first little bit. Then we've got a really cool little chromatic run where we do this. So here we're basically going to go open D, 1st fret, 2nd fret. Then we're going to do the open D string, and then come back down to the 2nd fret of the A, 1st fret of the A, and open string of the A. So it's kind of like you go up, and then back down, okay? Then you get a quick hammer on and pull off on the 1st fret, back to the 3rd fret on the E string, open A string, 3rd fret again, and finishing on the E note on the D string, so the 2nd fret of the D string. So just putting that little chromatic bit together in time. Sounds like that, okay? And then finally then you get your turnaround, which is this. Oh, like that, okay? So basically we're going to do a little chromatic slide here. We're going to go from the 3rd fret and the 2nd fret up to the natural place that it should be in the pentatonic, which is the 4th and 3rd fret. And then we're just going to grab at that this many times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Then slide back down to the 2, that grace note slide again. Okay? So we go down, off, 2, okay? And then open E string. Okay? And then we're going to get 3, 0, 1, 2. And that 2 is basically hitting your B7 chord. Okay? So that part all together. And then just as you're about to move into the verse, you do a nice little, so just a cool little bend up, down, pull off, and we're back to the E for our E major chord. Okay? So let me just put that whole lick section together for you. Sounds like this. It's nice and slow. So finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the whole part for you, really, really slow from start to finish, and try and count where it's needed. I'm going to do it without the big chunky strumming, just so you can see how it works without that. And in our next lesson, we're going to talk about how to develop that chunky Stevie Ray style strumming. Okay? So it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And we're into the riff. So again, notice I'm not doing the big chunky strumming, but it still sounds really cool. There we have it, guys. Enjoy that. Please don't forget to like the video and leave a comment in the section, and I'll see you next time for another video.